And we're live, ladies, gents, boys, girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the Peerscope presents The Countdown, presenting by me and Brandon. And tonight's episode is the top 10 TV shows of the year 2022 so far. So far. As obviously we're only halfway through the year, but still lots of good television here. As always, I'm JPO, joined here today. This week's special guest, Brandon. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. There's a lot. Like I like counting down or like looking at what I've watched. I was like, because I saw your post, and I was like, have I watched 10? Have I watched 20? It's like there's a lot of stuff out here.
I have an even 50 that I've seen at least several episodes of. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched everything. It's just because there's so many things to watch, and like that was the one thing that was like interesting. It's like because back in the day, it was like it used to be like what you watch kind of shows who you are, but now it's like what you watch just kind of shows what you have, like what services do you subscribe to? Because like I was
Or
looking at
bootleg from your friends and family.
yeah, oh yes, of course, you got bootleg those CBS shows. No one
Thank
can pay
you,
for that.
whoever, for Paramount. Yeah.
Before we get started, I have one question for you. Just off the top.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you a binger or do you like the week to week?
It depends on the show. Some I don't mind the week to week. I don't mind the break. You know what I mean? Of
I like
like
the break.
okay, cool, I can come back. Yeah, exactly. I don't mind that.
I'm
Um,
bad at it. Like I sometimes fall behind on
mhm.
one of my shows is week to week, and like I kind of like let 4 go ahead, but then I went week to week. But I do when I am keeping up with it, I do really enjoy it.
I know I can occasionally be bad now with streaming because, like, unlike back in the day, it was kind of like appointment television where it's like Tuesdays is when I gotta watch so and so. I forget like when is Boba Fett on again? Like,
Yeah,
did I see it
Fridays
last
after in
week?
high school, Fridays after Lost was like the best. Like, did you see it last night? The smoke monster. I don't know what happening. Yeah, it was. I love that.
Did you finish Lost all the way? I think I stepped out around
I
4.
am one of the few people that stand by that show is amazing,
No, I love the
including
first
the
few
ending.
seasons, and I don't hate the ending. I'm cool with it. It's kind of what I thought it was from the get go. And they said it wasn't what it was, but it was fine. You know, whatever.
Yeah,
Welcome to Lost review, as we reviewed
yeah.
Lost
Welcome to
from
rewatch Lost.
2007. All right, here. Hey, you want to? Well, actually, I guess we mentioned off air. What are some of your blind spots? What's not on the list that you think people might be thinking about?
That's not on my list
Yeah, you said before, like, what's something that's
that I
on your
haven't
watch
watched.
list? Yeah, yeah, exactly. You
So
want not necessarily low on the list, just not at all because you just haven't seen
So
it.
there's that show The Old Man that's going on right now
Oh,
on
okay, yeah,
FX
yeah, Bridges,
with
yeah, yeah.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, I haven't
That's
seen
supposed to
that.
be good. I have not watched that. I never got around to that Jack Reacher show.
I heard good things. Again, another one. I'll be honest, not on here just because I haven't seen.
I have not seen a single episode of Peaky Blinders, and
Is
I
that still
really
on?
want it. The final season just aired.
Good to know. I think my
Yeah,
mother liked it.
everyone who I've talked to loves it. Um, and then that show there's a Hacks on HBO. I think I have not got. People love that show.
That's good. That I'm behind on. So far I'm with you on all that. And I said before I have a big one. I'm behind on Stranger Things, so that will not be on here.
Okay, I have watched that.
Good.
Is it
We'll
on my
see.
list? I don't know.
We'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out. So people can, he can at me
It
now. But
was
there's so
hard
much,
though.
so many things. With Josh Brolin's got an Amazon show that I've never seen. There's a lot.
Yeah,
There's a
Outer
lot.
Range.
Yeah, yeah. Looks
The one thing I
interesting.
noticed though is like that I don't have very many honorable mentions because it's like because of the way things work now and you like paying for streaming services and like what you have and you can curate what you watch. It's like I really only watch what I know I'm gonna like pretty much for the most part. So
Yeah,
like
there's so many. There's so many options. Yeah.
there's so many yeah. So it's like it was really hard ranking these because it's like I watching the stuff I like and not much honorable mention.
Well, talk to me, Brandon. Give me your honorables. Give me your number 10.
So honorables, I'm gonna go with. So I got Ozark. Didn't really do it for me. I don't. I like that show, but there's
Continue.
shows I like more. So that didn't make it for me. Um, Atlanta
Mm,
just had too much. I like some of the episodes, some of them not so much because it was like
that's
it
like an
didn't really.
that's like an honorable for me. I didn't mind the off take, but I wanted to see more of the main story, and he very much was like half the season is just other things.
Exactly. I loved The Boys Diabolical, which was their
Cartoon, right?
animated. part 2 one.
Mm.
But again, some of those were better than others.
I almost started it after I finished The Boys, and I just haven't done it.
Yeah, the only watch the second one made by Justin Roiland. That's the best one. Just watch that one over and over again. And then here's where I'll get into my. So I'm gonna go. So my last honorable is Moon Knight.
Mm.
I loved Moon Knight, but I only wanted to put
Obviously, you
one.
didn't.
Well, I only want to put one of these shows in. So my number 10,
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go with Obi-Wan. That's my number 10. Just because not the best show, but as a huge Star Wars fan and a huge, I love Ewan McGregor. So like just seeing him back in it, just the nostalgia for me is what made this show push it into the top 10, and I kind of pushed it over Moon Knight for me because I loved Moon Knight, but Obi-Wan was just seeing him and Anakin again, and I love the Clone Wars, so seeing more of that kind of Obi-Wan coming back into it, and just I love that world. So, and I like popped like crazy during. Are we do? Is this spoiler heavy, or are we kind of like? Is there spoiler warning?
I wouldn't go too spoiler heavy, just in case people
Okay,
haven't
there was
seen
just
it.
some moments in the finale that made me pop pretty hard. So overall, again, some hit and miss episodes, but overall story and just the nostalgia, seeing him back made it a fun watch. And I love the week to week. This was a good week to weeker, I think.
Mm. Yeah, I only saw the first couple, unfortunately. So I didn't have it in my list. Not that I didn't like it. I just haven't seen enough of it yet to make it higher.
Yeah.
Very
So,
nice.
Number 10.
Alrighty, let's see. For my honorables, I'll throw up a few here real quick. Pam and Tommy over at Hulu. The After Party. Apple.
That's on my watch list too. The after part of that show. That's on
Yeah,
my
that's a
watch
fun
list.
one.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. Good cast there. Schwartz, Franco, Haddish, Sam Richardson, Barinholtz. Yeah. Severance, also really interesting show over at Apple. The Righteous Gemstones, very close to making it over on HBO, and Upload from Amazon. That second season, kind of long overdue. Very close to making it a fun show. Just on the outer cusp of mine. Coming to my number 10 here. A really interesting one. I want to know if you've seen this or have heard of this. I love the concept. I think they pulled it off pretty well here. Murderville from Netflix
I have
comes
not
in.
seen. I want to though. It looks
I
fun.
I love the concept here. The concept is basically Will Arnett, you've seen from Arrested Development and everything, Lego Batman. He has a different guest each week, and they don't have a script. They don't know what's going on. They just kind of go along with it here. You see already, Marshawn Lynch, Conan O'Brien, Sharon Stone, different guests. Everyone has like their own kind of way of doing things. It's so much fun. The MVP, oddly enough, as much as I love Conan and Kumail and Ken Jeong's quite funny, Marshawn Lynch, I think, has the funniest episode,
That
which
makes
was
sense to me.
as someone that doesn't know much about him and
Yeah.
did a little bit more later on, it was surprising. But he has so much fun. He's so quippy. He's funny. And again, I love the things that they put these actors and then I guess celebrities through. You'll also see some familiar faces too, as one of maybe the prime suspect as well here. Great bloody scene with Sharon Stone there. And yeah, just I thought it was a really fun concept. Short season too, so very easily delectable whenever you can get a chance to it over on Netflix. Murderville. What you got
Oh,
coming up? Number 9.
number 9. So number 9 is a show that might be higher. Like when we do our final ratings at the end of the year,
Mm.
might be higher. I watched the show in anticipation for this list, so I'm not done with it yet. I have 2 episodes left. I was watching it today. I didn't get to finish it. So I'm gonna go with Severance as my number 9 because I'm loving it so far, but I haven't seen where it ends yet. So that's why I'm keeping it a little lower because I know where all the other shows I've watched. But one of the craziest concepts I've ever seen in a show. So if you don't know, it's about Adam Scott works for this company, and this company has come out with this technology where they can sever you. So what that means is your work self and your home self are separated. So you can see right here in the trailer, basically he checked in and then he got severed and then his work self kicked in. So your work self really only lives like there was one episode where they're saying like I am 286 days old or something like that because it's like they only live during the work time, and then when they go back in the elevator, they come back. So it's about it deals with like what are the like ethical, like the ethics behind the severance. It's kind of like slavery for these people. Like they're not actually people. They're just the severed ties, the workers, like almost like the slaves of the real people. And then they're just kind of there's a mystery about what's going on behind the corporation. So it's weird. Definitely the weirdest show on my list. Um, but that's what's intriguing about it. And again, I don't know where it's going yet. I still have 2 episodes left. I'm probably finished tonight, but that's why it's keeping it down a little bit. But really loving it so far. And Ben
I'm
Stiller
I'm
directs 6 episodes. If you haven't,
Mm. I'm kind of actually in pretty much the exact same boat as you. Like I said, I was on my honorable, so not too far off from where you have it. Um, yeah, I'm a little bit out of finishing it myself, so I could see it climbing a couple of ranks or falling even too. You never know if they
yeah, it
blow it.
depends on how they wrap it up. Yeah,
Finale, yeah,
like, where is
exactly.
this going? Yeah,
It could go either way, but yeah,
this
like
is
you
the
said,
show I think that kind of like it has an amazing concept, but like these
yeah.
amazing concept shows really rely heavily on how they stick the landing.
Exactly. Like for instance, one that obviously different concept, but different big concept is Upload from Amazon. Like that fell in season 2, so I'm quite interested because this too has been picked up for a second season. So very interested in how they end season 1 and
Yeah,
where
because
they
it seems like
go
a
for
one
another
season
season.
show.
Yeah, what a one and done concept, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because it seems like he like figures it out, and then like I would like before I knew anything, like he figures it out and then tears down the system. That's like where I thought. But now season 2, it's like I have no idea where.
Coming in at
Number
my
9
number
for
9.
APO.
You mentioned before that you stuck with it to the end for Lost. Well, there's a show I've been sticking with and I ain't given up on yet. The Walking Dead comes in and actually at my number 9. And this is a show that definitely there's been seasons that don't make my top 10. I've fallen out of it, but I thought this season has been pretty well made here. I've enjoyed the new setting here that some of the characters have had. I've enjoyed the Negan relationship with Maggie, I want to say, and yeah, I thought it's been pretty well made. We're finally getting towards the end here, although maybe we'll have spin-offs and movies, so maybe we're not quite at the end. But as far as the main show goes, I've enjoyed this season here. Some good stuff. I forgot his name, but the one country guy too. His arc here about the missing girlfriend and finding out what happened with her. So yeah, I like I said, I'm still intrigued. I'm still hanging on. Like I said, it's fallen out of the top 10 the last few years, but it's returned. I think even last year I might have even had it in my 10 again for the first time in a while.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Everybody, I watched The Walking Dead, but before even watching The Walking Dead, I was reading the comic book before the show even came
Mm,
out. So I've read up until like literally a month ago. I had read all but like the last like 10 issues, and then I saw a commercial. I was like, you know what? I don't know why I fell off. I just like I bought I missed an issue and I forgot to buy it, so I just like kind of fell off of it. So I've got back into it, and I loved how they wrapped up the comic book, and it triggered me to be like, you know what? Maybe I'll go back and watch the show. And I think I look according to my track, I think I only have like 3 seasons behind. So
I would do. This is, I think, a good example of maybe don't binge it. It might help to not binge it and to see it a little, a couple episodes here, a couple episodes there if you want.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because sometimes it can give it a little bit repetitive. I think that's why people are ready for it to wrap up. But it's still some good stuff here.
yeah, love it. Okay, number 8. Number 8 is a show. See, this is where it gets tricky because like all these other shows, like 8, they're like, oh, he only has a number 8. I'm gonna go with the Umbrella Academy for number 8. Season 3. Just again a show that I was watching. It was another show that I was watching, a similar show I was watching week to week, and then this show came out, and I kind of let it sit for a little bit, and then I just watched it. And you know, getting COVID was great because I just watched it literally in one day. And it's the show I kind of wish would breathe. I think it might be better. Like this show would kind of benefit from breathing a little bit. Because it kind of gets a little repetitive, but I still love the characters so much. If you don't know, it's based off a comic book by Gerard Way of My
Mm,
Chemical Romance. It's kind of I tell people it's kind of like if you if the X-Men if Professor X died and then the X-Men all grew up to have like mental disorders, like alcoholism and things like that, and how they deal with their childhood being completely fucked up. And then chaos ensues. So it kind of gets a little repetitive every season to season. It's like how are they gonna save the world this time, but it's just so much fun to watch. It has the right amount of weirdness, and the casting and the characters are just a blast. So I love the show so much.
Yeah, this is one I've been meaning to catch up on. I have no reason why I stepped out of it. Just one of those weird ones of, and then I think sometimes for me too, when I'm so far out of it and there's a couple seasons behind, I go, it's almost too daunting for me to be like,
Mhm.
maybe I'll just keep waiting. So yeah, it's one that I do need to get back into because I did enjoy what I have seen.
Yeah, it's not too. And again, it's like, or I think they're pushing the envelope with Netflix. It's like I think they're like hour 5, hour 10 now. Like they're
Mm.
pushing a little too much. Like this is TV, okay? We like 45, like it could be 50, like. But
Yeah,
again, this is one of the
every
shows where it's like
episode's
I
a
could watch
movie.
more of this.
That's some good dance skills there. Okay, sorry, I was caught up in the dancing.
There's a lot of dancing, but I don't really know why, but I love it. I love a good dance. I love a good random dance scene.
Why
There's
not?
one in what's the Severance too. It's a random dance scene. And
One of the boys definitely has a random dance scene this season too.
it does, but maybe we'll talk about that later.
Maybe wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It was something that you did talk about very briefly earlier. I do have it in my top 10, number 8. Moon Knight. I will talk a little bit about here. Definitely was higher when it kind of first came out. It was in my top 5 for a little while here, and kind of sunk down a little bit here because I don't know if they nailed the lending here. It definitely, again, this kind of feels like one where it's like, oh, you're definitely kind of setting up to tell more, and I hope they do because I think Oscar Isaac was great in this here.
Mhm.
He's the perfect kind of character actor that can play those dual slash triple roles here, bouncing back and forth here, and I liked some of the elements in the way it was done, of not knowing and then seeing the battle almost afterwards. Although sometimes at the end that actually annoyed me when it felt like you were ramping up to a big climatic scene and they kind of just jumped forward a little too much
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
towards the end of that series. Like at first I liked it, later on I was kind of annoyed by it. um, but I love the setup more necessarily than the total execution here. But it was enough to where I'm still thinking about it. I'd like to see more from this universe, more from Oscar Isaac here. So yeah, Moon Knight did creep in at number 8.
yeah. Cause yeah, the only thing keeping it down was just like not enough. Was like I love the way they set up the character and set up Mark and Steven, but the show should be called Mark and Steven more than it should be called Moon Knight. Say more of them. I would love to
Mark
see
and
like this.
Steven live on Disney Plus.
This could definitely get like this could definitely raise up if they do more with like I think what they do after this could actually elevate the show. It's like, oh, that's where it was going. Okay, now I like the show a little more. They just leave it here. It's like, okay, now what? Like that was all with Moon that we get. So I'm very, very like itching to see more of this.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Short season here. Yeah, I could definitely do with it. I'm hoping for season 2 to see more of it.
Yeah. Okay, number 7. Okay, number 7 is a show that this is my guilty pleasure show. I think I gotta have one on here. I'm going with the Winning Time. I don't know the full name
Mm.
of the title of it. I think it's just Winning Time. This is the Adam McKay Lakers show. I live in Los Angeles, big Lakers fan.
Rise of the Lakers Dynasty.
Rise of Lakers dynasty. So this was just a show for me as a Lakers fan. Just love seeing Magic Johnson and Dr. Jerry Buss. What's his name? John C. Riley is so good in the show as Jerry Buss. And growing up and seeing Jerry Buss and this playboy guy, and like he completely nails it. Some of the real people don't like how they were portrayed. But I love a good like 70s, 80s drug filled chaos filled show, movie, thing like that. I do have a love-hate relationship with Adam McKay. I kind of hate his newer stuff and his directing and how he does stuff. So I was complaining about the show because there's just random, just like in Vice, there's just like random, like they'll be talking to like Jerry Buss and he'll be talking about a woman, and then they'll just cut to a random shot of like 2 dogs humping for like literally a millisecond and then cut back to the conversation. It's like, why are they doing this? But again, there's Magic Johnson right there. Just seeing, the team that I grew up watching. I didn't see this era, obviously, a little right before my time, but this was like my fun show, my fun. And this was another show like I watched it week to week, every week, and just like couldn't wait to watch more.
Winning time. Yeah, I love John C. Reilly, so I have no
And I
doubt he's
think they
fitting
might
in.
be doing season 2, and like I'm looking forward to like this could be a fun as a sports fan, like a fun vehicle to like then go into like maybe bringing Michael Jordan or bringing like the late '80s and seeing like '80s basketball players and like bringing other teams and other things like that.
So
So
don't
it's
get
definitely
mad
like
at me.
not the
Don't.
best show, but this was is this top shows? Okay, it's favorite shows. So this was my guilty pleasure show.
Don't get mad at me. Was Michael Jordan a Laker?
No,
Oh, okay.
but he got, so this was like 2 years before he got drafted. But they cover like Larry Bird. They cover other players. So there's other players in the league.
Makes
But
sense,
it's
of course.
based around the Lakers. But they can tell, like they can bring in other players and like tell other stories around the Lakers because the Lakers are always right there. So, there's a lot of stuff they could do with it if they keep going.
Very nice, very nice. Coming in my number 7 here. I love a good sitcom, and unfortunately, there's pretty much none of them on my list. Other than like some of the other ones, like Righteous Gemstones been on the outside of it here. But especially like just normal channels or like your basic cable channels.
Mhm.
There's actually one that creeped in this year. Ghosts over at CBS, and I just find the show very delightful here. I love the main couple. You've seen him from a couple different movies. Pretty much Marathon. I think she was in something too. She might have been in that zombie movie. Am I thinking, or the zombie? I don't know, whatever. But anyway, they're a perfectly likable couple, and she ends up like hitting her head or something, and she can now see anyone that's ever died in this hotel from all the past eras here. And it's goofy. It's very much a classic kind of, well, not a classic sitcom, but it's very character driven here. I love all the different actors playing different ones. The Viking is a standout here. You learn more about their past. There's a really nice sequence between the one of the war generals falling in love with another war general, finally realizing he's gay and whatnot. And again, I always find myself very charmed, very laughing, a good amount of laugh for each show. And yeah, some CBS shows are literally at the very bottom. My number 50 is a CBS sitcom, but also number 7 is a CBS sitcom here. So Ghost, good old classic sitcom here. Well worth checking out.
I love it. I've heard of this. I've never seen it though. I love a good sitcom though.
Yeah,
I had one on my to watch list. Abbott Elementary. As a teacher, I've been told to watch that.
It's a good
show.
one. It's a good one. I like that. I like that. I think my brother likes it more than me.
There's another, not on basic cable, but there's another sitcom maybe around vampires that just debuted yesterday, that came back yesterday, that I love.
I love it. What we do in
That
the
might
shadows.
be on
Absolutely.
that might be on the end of the year list. But
I wouldn't be surprised because I want to say every year it has been in my top 10. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I almost did it even because I've seen the first episode. I didn't get a chance to the second one, and I almost did it just now, just to be like, it's gonna be anyway.
Did they release 2 yesterday?
2 of them are out already. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I know what I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'll check out Ghost.
First episode's great. What's the boring one is a kid.
Oh, Colin Robinson.
Colin Robinson,
Yes.
yeah. As he came out of his old self, and now he's a little kid in the premiere.
All right. Well, speaking of Taika Waititi,
Oh.
actually, never mind. Not speaking of Taika Waititi. Number 6, we're going with Stranger Things.
Oh, here you go.
Just because I think so. Here's my problem with Stranger Things. It's very well done. I really enjoy watching it. But I think, and I was talking about this, I think either I'm getting old or the fact that I'm a teacher surrounded by children all the time. But I just hate shows where it's like go to the police, okay? Like these kids don't need to take all the the matters into their own hands. Go to the police because it makes a bad influence on my students. And then no, but it's just it's fun to watch. It's getting I don't know if it's gonna. It might. I think season 5 is like it's time to end. Like it might be overstaying its welcome a little bit. Where it's just like, okay, bad stuff's happening again. But the horror elements this year, I think this might have been one of the stronger seasons they've had, probably since the first one. This might be my second favorite season. Just the horror elements, the Hopper storyline could have done really without. Shout out my boy Eddie Munson, love that guy. But the horror elements in this, it was like a lot scarier than it has been, and I really enjoyed that. I'm getting super sick of hearing all the freaking songs on TikTok though, and getting asked by kids like, "Have you heard of Metallica?" It's like, "Yes, I've heard of Metallica." No,
That's
I don't
funny.
like that part, but again, this is a show that I will always watch, and it's
Have you heard of Metallica?
I again another show I think would like it would be amazing to be able to talk about this every week. I love the conversation. I love watching like scrolling through TikTok and it's like, okay, now I'm gonna talk about episode 4. Then tune in the next video. I'm gonna talk about episode 5. It's like I wish there was breathing time, and they said that they're not doing that for season 5, and I really wish they did because
Mm.
that's a show that like I think it would explode with like some talking time.
I'm surprised they don't spread it out more. I guess they spread it out, I guess, with the chunks of the
But
seasons. But
yeah, it was
I see what
weird.
you're
And then
saying.
then they came back and they did like it was a 90-minute episode, and then like a 2.5-hour episode. I don't know why they split it up into part. I don't know. It's all over the place. And the episodes were long. It was kind of annoying. And there's only like 9 of them, so I don't know why they didn't just like shorten the episodes
Mm.
and add 2
Yeah,
more.
true. Yeah, to make it an actual like, even number.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. So, but again, super enjoyable watch.
Coming in, let's see, number 6 here for moi. Going over to Paramount now is making an appearance. I'm gonna make you an offer that I mean, I guess you could refuse. I don't know. It's up to you. It's The Offer, all about the making of the movie The Godfather here, and yeah, this kind of fits both worlds for me as far as things that I love. One, I love movies or TV shows that are about making a movie or TV show. I love being, sucked into that world of Hollywood of making deals here and seeing a bit of the background here. They didn't want Pacino. That was a big uphill battle here to actually shoot a little bit in Italy. That was a big uphill battle here. And the different negotiations you got to make. Colin Hanks is the money guy. Miles Teller is trying to, do what's right for the director. Dan Fogler, fantastic as Francis Ford Coppola here. Whoever I don't know who it is, but whoever plays Brando is fantastic. Whoever plays Pacino too, I forgot to say.
They have a Pacino.
They have a Pacino, and he is wonderful as far as both looks wise, and also just a good actor. But looks wise is fantastic as well here. Um, I want to shout out him too, real quick. Look that up real quick.
Yeah.
Matthew Good is Robert Evans, which he's
Matthew he was in the Americans. That guy.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, Robert Evans, a very historical producer here. There's even been a cartoon about him a few years ago. He's fantastic in here. Burton Gorman. It just got a great cast here. Juno Temple, who you've seen in Ted Lasso, she's great in this here. Teller's a really good lead, and I was gonna say too. Not only is it Hollywood making, there really is a mob element to this. In order to get the movie made, and he had to make deals with people like Giovanni Ribisi, who's a gangster and whatnot. So there is death in the show. There is, real stakes at the show as well here. So it kind of balances both here. And yeah, I really liked it. This was one that I kind of watched like one a day, and then I finally caught up to where I had to wait a week because I had
Oh,
actually
okay.
caught up to the actual order. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing that here. And yeah, I thought it was good. I wouldn't mind this being a regular thing. Maybe show, find a different movie that has, crazy
Yeah, that'd be
background.
cool.
If you want to do American Horror Story, keep some of the same cast, or well, I guess you couldn't do that because you would want to cast for each
Cast it, but
movie
yeah,
here.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be super interesting. I think this is a show that for me, I saw it coming out, but I just don't have Paramount Plus. So like,
Well, why do I have it? I have it for some reason. I don't know.
I was
Maybe my
gonna get
phone.
it for the Halo show, but then I heard reviews about that, and I was like, okay, I don't need to.
Yeah, and I play Halo almost every night, and it's not on my list.
Yeah,
It's fine,
not even
but
bother. So maybe
it's
one day I'll watch The Offer and I'll watch Halo.
yeah. I mean, I would give Halo a watch, but yeah, it's a lesser Battlestar, or I mean, you've seen better things, but you've seen worse too. So if you have it, check it out.
All right, so my number 5. Okay, now speaking of Taika Waititi, I'm going with Our Flag Means Death. This is a show starring Reese Darby and Taika Waititi. Reese Darby. It's based off of a true tale of the gentleman pirate who was like a English gentleman who was tired of his life and decided to become a pirate. And Reese Darby plays this perfectly. I love Flight of the Conchords, so love seeing him. That's Taika Waititi suiting up as Blackbeard, and you get the kind of relationship between them two, and you get like he's bad pirate being good pirate, and it's just so much fun to watch. and it went places that I didn't expect it to go about with their relation with like the relationship and some of the things that they portrayed on the show. And I was like, whoa, this show is actually like covering some deep topics, but still super silly and super goofy and a lot of fun to watch. So, um, and the side cast, the I'm looking at all these people. There's Taika Waititi, you know, looking at him as all his Blackbeard glory. And then like this is a show that really is that has like two big leads, but then the smaller characters, the small cast is like this is the show that the small cast makes the
Mm.
show. And they're a lot of fun to watch too. So dude, got picked up for season 2, so a lot of it. Really excited to see where this goes. So Our Flag Means Death, my number 5.
Awesome, man. Yeah,
Check this
this
one
is
out.
one I definitely gotta watch this one because I love me some Rice Darby here, and then I see some good supporting cast, so definitely have to check this.
I think like 8 episodes. I think it's a short one. I think it's like 6 or 8, something like that. Half hours. Yeah, easy watch. Nick Kroll. Yeah, and then a show where it's like they get all these like guest actors every week to pop in and play. You saw Leslie Jones plays a pirate. Kristen Shaw and Nick Kroll pop in. So yeah, a lot of fun. This is This is a really really fun one.
Coming in now for number 5. Hey, we're halfway there. Living on a Prayer. Kind of a comedy, definitely a dark comedy though. Barry over on HBO from Saturday Night Live, and I think he is fantastic in this. One of the directors and writers as well of the series here. And again, each season has really kind of upped the ante here. And it's a challenging show because Barry does some despicable things here. So it's a really interesting show of kind of seeing where this character is going. It's not always predictable, which I definitely give it credit of. It has definitely taken some turns I didn't totally see coming here. And of course, shout out to the supporting cast, Henry Winkler. I don't think I've ever seen him do kind of a dual. I don't want to say a dual role, but again, the kind of actor role that I think actors would love because at first he's just this silly kind of acting coach
Mhm.
here, and the last 2 seasons you've really seen him give some tremendous performances here, and he is so good in this here. I love the finale of this. Very much ready for season 4. Um, Anthony Kerrigan too as NoHo Hank has been a standout. I think he was supposed to die in season 1, but he's kind of one of those characters that they were like, no, we got to keep it going. And Stephen Root, I think, unfortunately, has fallen a little bit to the wayside because I feel like he had more showier parts in the first couple of seasons here, but he's fantastic in this as well. And yeah, just really great show here. I love it. This was one that I kind of wish I could binge because there was definitely every time I'd see an episode, I'd kind of want to get to the next one here, but you couldn't do that. So Barry coming in at my number 5.
I might have something to say about this, but I don't know yet. Keep it close to the chest. Okay, my number 4. I'm going with The Boys here. This is hard because all the shows I'm about to talk about are like some of my favorite shows of all time. So I'm going
Yeah,
with The Boys. Um, this was a crazy season. Insane. Some of the like Hero Gasm and just the opening, not to, like the opening scene. They pull off.
it
I don't
is
want to
the
give.
greatest shame of my it is the greatest shame of my life that I missed Orgasm.
Oh yeah. They pull off the what if Ant-Man went inside Thanos thing. They cover that.
Oh God,
And Homelander. I mean, did you ever watch the show Banshee? Cinemax?
no, I think my brother did. No,
Yeah, I watched that show. So Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, so I've known about this guy for a while.
oh
He is so good as
yeah, he's
Homelander.
fucking he's so
Completely
good.
different character as in Banshee, but uh he is so good as Homelander about evil Superman, basically. This is always a fun one to explain what it's about. It's like, what if the Avengers were corporate and like the movies that they make are actually like corporate made movies starring the real superheroes and they're just corrupt as shit. And then you have Billy Butcher and the boys taking them all down. And it's just so much fun to watch. It's like completely chaotic, but the performances are so good that it doesn't become like super because this show could easily just be like super campy and cheesy and lame, but it's not. And I don't know why I have it this low, but I think there's just so much I have above it or like just the heavy things I have above it. But this could like easily be my number one show. But it's just there's some other stuff coming up.
No, I see what you're saying, man. Like I said, I love Barry. I love some of the other ones, that are lower, but it's a good year for TV. It's not anywhere near freaking awesome.
Yeah. Jensen
uh,
Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy of the season was awesome.
yeah. Well, welcome to Edition here, man. So you were with Homelander early on. I was with him early on from Days of Our Lives. I knew Jansen Ackles had it. So coming in at number 4, this you do have low. No, but I got Ozark on my list here. Coming in for the season 4, supposedly the ending of the show here, which is a little disappointing here. Again, a lot of
Supposedly, yeah.
this might have been higher if they had made some different decisions here. Very similar to Breaking Bad as far as when you first meet Jason Bateman, he's just a guy in a bad situation trying to save his life and
Mhm.
maybe make things a little bit better and doable here. Chris Diaz chimes in. The Boys is my favorite comic book show of this year until this week. Now it is number 2. What's number 1 then?
I know what he's talking
Uh,
about. Miss Marvel.
Oh, okay. I actually haven't seen that. So I didn't
I've
see that
seen
one.
the first episode, and it's like for children. No, it's fine.
Ah.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll finish it.
Going back to Ozark now. Yeah, so we're wrapping it up, and no, I mean, like I said, I don't hate the ending here. I'm a little unfulfilled as far as some decisions that they made, but that's gonna happen here. I'm not the writer. They're not gonna necessarily go
Yeah.
with what I kind of want to happen here. Of course, the breakout. Julia Gardner as Ruth Langmore, I think, has been one of the best parts to watch here. I would have loved watching her for another
Absolutely.
several seasons, even if you did away with the main family. I would have loved to have seen more about her here.
Yeah. Yeah. I would
Um,
have. Yeah. I would have liked to see more with her. For me, this show, it's like they did a two-parter thing, and I thought the first part was very strong.
mm,
The wrapping up was a little weak. It's just the problem with the show for me is just that they always introduce this problem. There was always another problem,
mhm.
and they always solved it. And then it always led to another problem, and then they solved it. And it's like, how's he get out of this one? Oh, he'll figure it out. He's Marty Bird. He can do anything. And then like the show amped it up. It's like, well, they just got out of it. Like so, like
Yeah,
hopefully we see like maybe a movie. Like give us like a
I've heard that rumor already. We heard that about Sopranos. Obviously, that's a different thing with Gandolfini, but we'll see. Maybe.
But yeah, and also I kind of like spite the show just because one person told me it was so much better than Breaking Bad, and that's like my favorite show of all time. I'm just
Nah,
like it's just like Breaking Bad. It's just like too much like it, but not enough.
no. I mean, it's similarities as far as Obviously, these characters do kind of start to break bad. Haha, no pun intended. But nah, I got to go with Breaking Bad, probably by a decent mile. As much as I like Ozark, Breaking Bad won.
Speaking of Breaking Bad, my number 3 is Better Call Saul, a show that might by the end of the year be number 1, but only seen half of it, so I'm docking it just because of that. Just because I don't. Again, we've talked about don't know where things wrapping up. This is another final season. So this is wrapping up, but this, the first half of the season so far has been fantastic. This is a show that just like I just love watching um Vince Gilligan work and just like the way he shoots things, the way he writes things, and the way it's acted is just screams Breaking Bad still, but I love this character and the world they created so much that I will watch anything. The finale literally made me gasp, or the mid-season finale literally made me gasp. It came back last night, so I'm really excited to keep watching this. But again, just and seeing like you talked about Henry Winkler. I mean, Bob Odenkirk is so good in this show, and he's like, I think people forget he's a comedian now, just because he's done so
Mm.
much with Breaking Bad and with Nobody, and he's just a
Yeah,
blast to watch.
who
He's
yeah
finally
who
full,
saw this coming? From Bob Odenkirk. Yeah.
yeah, if you like 10, 15 years ago, um, watching Mr. Show days, but yeah, just he's full, and the cast, that's the thing is like it's a show about a character from Breaking Bad, but then they brought in all these other characters. Sure, they brought in Gus Fring back, but then they have not and then Mike back. But like Nacho and Lalo and all these other like side characters are just so interesting and amazing to watch. And again, could be possibly be higher. Just haven't seen where it ends yet, so I'm tempering it a little bit.
I see. I see. Maybe we'll talk about it later. No spoilers. One thing that I will talk about, and again, you have talked about now for number four for me, is The Boys coming in from Amazon season 3. I love the brand said, what if Superman was kind of a corporate douche and was kind of evil, and and that temptation of sooner or later this guy might snap, so we got to take him down. A lovely addition here from Jensen Ackles here, so glad to see him join the cast here. Kind of similar to they had the one female villain last year who I loved. You get to see a little bit more of her at the beginning of this season here. Yeah, just I enjoyed. I thought we got to see a little bit more of the kind of backstory of Butcher, played by Carl Urban. Really good dream sequences later on in the season, kind of seeing a little bit of his upbringing with the father and whatnot, which laid a little bit more here. And great finale again.
Yeah.
Definitely setting up with the next big twist and turn here. A little bit of Giancarlo Esposito, from Better Call Saul. Hey, what a good year! What a good TV
Every
year that dude had. Um, uh, yeah, just what can I say here, man? As you kind of mentioned, the Thanos thing, the hero gasm here, so some crazy WTF moments here. There's a weird moment with a Black Noir and cartoons that pops up.
Yeah, never really explained, but I don't care. Like it's fine.
I love that they finally show like one major sequence with Soldier Boy's character here that you've been kind of waiting to see. They do it with the cartoons. To show you a reveal of that here. So yeah, like I said, I'm definitely on board so far, and I'm ready for next season. In a weird, I don't say more excited than I even was this season with where we're gonna go with Homelander and the world that they live in now. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. This again, this like any other year, this could be number one. But there's so much. So okay, we're on
three.
number two. Wait, did I forget something? This was your number four?
Oh, this is my own there. Did I not? Maybe I just didn't bump up the thing. Oops. You might be
Yeah,
right.
because my list I actually bumped down Better Call Saul and I bumped something up on the fly. So my number
Yeah. Hold
two
on.
and my number one opening sequence, I'm going with Peacemaker. A show that like I wasn't really like I loved Suicide Squad from last year. And this was a show that I was like, okay, fine, it'll be fun. But as a big James Gunn fan, as a big John Cena fan, this show completely blew me away. So I thought it was gonna be just like chaos, and I thought it was gonna be like The Boys, essentially. But I stand by that John Cena should have been nominated for an Emmy this year because
Oh yeah, what a shame.
the depth he gave this character, just some character who like some cheesy character from the 70s that no one really cares about he loves freedom so much that he's willing to kill anybody to get it. Or loves peace so much he's willing to kill anybody to get it. And with the backstory with him and his father and how he was abused as a child and his father was the leader of white supremacist clan and just the emotional depth he brings to this character while also wearing red spandex and killing people. And then you get his sidekick, Vigilante, who's absolutely hysterical also. It's just this show had so much more than I expected. And I cannot wait. I think they said season 2 is coming. And I cannot wait to see what it is because this character is just like it was just supposed to be. I think it was just a joke character for a movie, but then people loved it, and then they brought it back, and then they like delved so much into it, so much more than they probably should have, but it paid off because this season was just amazing, and didn't expect it to have it at number two, but I just again a week to week thing, and I just loved every single second of the show. And is Jordan frozen? Did we lose you? Did you lose me? Am I the only one hosting the show now? Oh, it's just me now. Okay, so I will vamp. I've already said you couldn't wait until after I finished what I had to say about Peacemaker. This is awkward. Oh, we're back. As I was talking, I was like, "He's not moving. I'm just gonna keep. I'm gonna keep talking about Peacemaker." I just repeated myself so much.
Whoopsies. Yeah, my laptop does not like being unplugged even for 30 seconds, and
All
I
right,
did
so
not see I
start
was
back
unplugged.
number 10. Gotta
I
do all the.
believe it says we're still live, so I guess I can
No, we're
leave
still
whenever.
going. Yeah, Brian.
Okay,
People
sweet.
are. It cut to me,
Okay.
so I think
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, we're good. We're good, Brian. All right, so Peacemaker, did you finish? Or are you still talking?
Too long, didn't read or recap. It was a character that was just brought in kind of as a joke for this movie. People loved him in the movie. They brought him back, and then they just dove so much into his character more than I thought they would, and I loved it. So the emotional, like the emotion that John Cena brought to this character was just absolutely fantastic. So Peacemaker, I love the show a lot more than I thought. I knew I would like it, but because I like pretty much anything James Gunn does, but I didn't think that I would like love it and how like good it would actually be. And plus, the opening intro is just the best.
Yes, they definitely solved the skipping because you never want to skip it, man. That's actually something that annoyed me for the offer on Paramount Plus. They never had skip the intro button, so I kept trying to do like the 10-second jump, like seven
Yeah,
times
this
in a
is the
row.
only one I did. I will I'll never do.
They did, and which I do say, season 2, good luck because you're gonna have to gonna have to come up with
Yeah,
something
that's
new.
the biggest problem. The biggest goal is like, how are they not gonna top the emotion? No, 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 no. How are they gonna top the intro?
So the reason the trailer is still on the screen is because it is my number 2, Peacemaker. This is the first one
Yes,
we have
we've matched up.
100% matched up at least
I was
once.
worried
Well,
because
I
you
guess
didn't
only
mention it. I was
once.
like, did she not, or did he not match it up? Did he not put it at all? I figured you'd have to have
Well,
watched
first of
it.
all, yeah, as I just said on the one of the last streams I was on, I own 12 rounds. I own a bunch of bad movies
I
with
saw 12
wrestlers.
rounds in
So
theaters.
uh, hey, I don't think I did actually.
I saw the Marine. I saw the Marine in theaters.
Which is the team up of John Cena and Robert Patrick, just like Peacemaker,
Yeah,
the Marine.
he's a little less racist than that though.
Just a little. And but no, yeah, like you said, man, this is a great show. Very organically came about while they were making Suicide Squad. Taika or James Gunn rather. I always say Taika because he's in it. James Gunn was like, I would kind of want to do more with this. Would you do a show? And of course, Cena was like, hell yeah. And you've seen Cena show up to all the premieres in the get up here. He obviously has
Yeah, I
fun
love that.
with this character here. And you mentioned too, man, like this is not only just super funny here. There are dramatic moments. And Cena definitely earns and does so well in it. I think has grown as an actor here, I think undeniably. And he's so good in it. Definitely, like you said, excited. I love this world. I love, how R-rated this is. The cast around it. Vigilante. Oh my god, how awesome is Vigilante here? Freddie Stroma, give credit to him. I still love the what are you doing? Oh, the camera has my face. Just, I loved everything about that here. There's some of the surrounding cast here too. Steve Agee, um, Daniel Brooks. So good stuff here. Loved it. Peacemaker. My number 2 as well. So we matched up once, totally spot on, but we didn't
Yeah,
match up on number 1. So what's your number 1?
not match up on number one, but you did mention my number one. My number one
Uh,
is Barry.
ah,
Speaking of hilarity and like emotion, this show covers everything, and Bill Hader should always be nominated for everything, because he is just so good. This is a show that like even in like a serious moment, it can make you laugh so hard, but then also like put you on the edge of your seat. It kind of struggles some of the like, how's he gonna get out of this? Oh, he'll just kill them and get out of it. But maybe it doesn't. Somewhere at the end. But again, Henry Winkler shines this season. NoHo Hank is the funniest character of the year. If we did funniest character, television character, NoHo Hank is the funniest character. on TV. He makes me laugh every single time he sees him. Anthony Carrigan. If you haven't seen the new Bill and Ted movie, he steals that movie as well.
I
He
love this
is
dude. Yeah.
he is so funny. What's the girlfriend's name? Sally. She's the worst. I hate her so much. But that's like that's the point. Like season 1, it's like she's just such an annoying like she's an up and coming actress, and that's like she does such a good like I don't like when people go like, "Oh, I hate that character. I couldn't watch it." It's like, no, that's the point. You're not supposed to like this girl. Like she's supposed to be horrible and only cares about herself and does such a good job. I wish we saw more Stephen Root, but I think he'll still be around. They kind of did a little fake out, but this show just has everything. Like, it literally has everything, and I can't wait to see. Have they said it's going to end season 4, or have they?
I think there is an ending. I think there is a planned ending. Is it 4
It
or 5? I'm
seems
not.
like
I'm not sure.
it seems like
4
they're
could be it.
yeah. It
You
seems
could
like
even
they're
you could even argue this
heading
could
there.
have been in it. You could have argued this could have been
This
it,
could
but
have been. Yeah, actually,
which
this after I watched it, I was like, that was so good. And then like an hour later, I was like, wait, was that the series finale? I was
yeah,
thinking about it an hour later, and I was like, wait a second.
it's gonna be interesting to see
It
what
could
they
have been
do
because
in
they wrapped
4.
up a bunch of stuff. Maybe they did that
Yeah.
to like just in case.
Yes, we are back, Chris. I'm back. Let me make sure my
I
screen
never
is loaded.
left, Chris.
I'm so glad
So
you held the ship. Good.
I just stared at the camera for a little bit. I tried my best. But now, JPO, the moment we've all been waiting for. Is the
All
best.
right.
'Cause your
So
favorite is the best because you hold your power up high. So
no,
what is the best show?
I love your number one as well. My number one is something again you talked about it, so it's something you like. I understand why it's not number one for you, but for me, I had to do it, and I'd be very surprised if it doesn't still hold that spot. We got to talk again about Better Call Saul here.
Yeah.
I've actually recently caught up on it because I didn't have between moving and just not having I think access to that final season because of not being on Netflix. I finally settled in. I luckily found both the first couple episodes while I was in a hotel, and I caught up on the rest because I guess they marathoned it on AMC, so it finally recorded to the DVR. So I saw season 6 pretty quickly together here, and yeah, oh man, what a show, what a build up of the Saul Goodman character here that we first met in Breaking Bad here, and you kind of said a lot of what I'm going to say here, man, of bringing back not only Giancarlo's Esposito's character, but Jonathan Banks as Mike. It's been great seeing kind of his build up here. Poor Nacho. No spoilers, but now love for Nacho here, and the Lalo has been such a fun villain as well for this last couple of seasons. Great show, again, even though it's a prequel, it still kind of has you very much on the edge of your seat here. Great writing, great directing too, as you've seen from Breaking Bad. I love some of the early kind of call signs, in the intros of what might come later. And then it finally all makes sense here. And yeah, much love for this show here. Like you said, we're not totally done yet. So we'll see if it can rise or fall at the end of the year.
Not
But for
worried
right
about it.
now, yeah, nah, I'm not too much either here. Like I said, I think Breaking Bad did pretty good about staying good to the very end, knowing when to call it quits here. And Better Call Saul is about to do the same thing here pretty soon.
Yeah, when I was making my list, this was the first one at the top. But I think just because I knocked down Severance, I was like, I don't know. I wanted Peacemaker to be number 2, to be honest. So, but this could have been number 1. Easily.
Yeah,
But again,
like I said, I'm with you on like my top 5 are all pretty like tight. Like mix it around if you want. You know what I mean? They're good.
yep, love it.
Let me hear that top 10 again, man. Give it to us one more time.
Okay, my number 10 was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Number 9 was Severance because I have not finished it. Number 8, Umbrella Academy season 3. Number 7, Winning Time, the story of the Los Angeles Lakers of Los Angeles playing basketball. I don't know the name of it. Number 6, Stranger Things. Number 5, Our Flag Means Death. Number 4, The Boys. Number 3 was Better Call Saul. Number 2 was Peacemaker, and number 1 was Barry.
My top 10 here so far. We got Murderville at number 10, number 9, Walking Dead, number 8, Moon Knight, 7, Ghosts, 6, The Offer, number 5, Barry, number 4, Ozark, number 3, The Boys, number 2, Peacemaker as well, and number 1 for me was Better Call Saul. And
Demographic.
yeah, look at this. Look, I'm ready. Look at all these other shows I've seen. Yeah. So much to choose from here between cable,
Shout out Keenan.
streaming. Yeah, why not? I'm happy that Keenan finally has a TV show now. So I've been with him since all that days.
Hell yeah.
My what's not updated? My graphics. It still says number 2. Oh, number 1. There we go. Brandon, any parting words here? Any plugs?
I meant to put together what's coming up,
Ooh,
but I
yes.
forgot to do that.
Well, how dare you? Because that would have been a nice little antidote.
It would have been. I mean, Better Call Saul. Yeah, I forgot. I didn't do that. Also, shout out Drive to Survive. It's a reality show. We weren't talking about that. It's about F1 racing. It's awesome. That's it. That's all I got. Well, yeah, what's coming up? We can see like upcoming our show. We can do whatever we want, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. We got
Oh, Resident Evil
the-
comes out this week.
That's
I
true.
think.
That's soon, isn't it? Because I saw somebody reviewed it already. So yeah, that must be soon.
She-Hulk.
That's right. Yeah.
Who knows what the hell that's gonna be? Where's this list? Oh, so we got Willow. We got Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. I believe Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon is this year. The Sandman. There's a lot of stuff. Andor. An adaptation of this graphic novel, The Paper Girls. Oh, there's a League of Their Own.
I believe the Quantum Leap comes back, right?
Does it really?
Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
There's a lot of
The
House of the Dragon.
Winchesters. The Winchesters, the Supernatural spinoff.
Oh, they really? I didn't know that. This Ahsoka's not this year. Yeah, there's a lot of. No, it's already. I mean, just some of the stuff I said alone. I mean, What We Do in the Shadows, obviously just started, but that could like looking at stuff that could make the list. Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, The Game of Thrones, Andor, that could make the list. Resident Evil probably won't, but I love the game, so that
Maybe I have hopes. I'm waiting for a great Resident Evil because that last movie was dog.
that was supposed to be like the turning point, though.
Oh no! Don't say me that. True Lies, the TV show.
Because it
That's
followed. It followed the what's it called? Like the games more. Oh, Westworld. I don't know if you're still sticking around with Westworld. I'm gonna finally finish season 3 and watch season 4. So.
I gotta do that. I gotta finish 3. True Lies, the TV show is coming out. George Lopez is a new comedy. Lopez versus Lopez. Quantum Leap, as I
That
said.
just sounds funny.
This news is old. Walker Independence, which is based on the Chuck Norris character, I guess. Oh, another Batman TV show, The Gotham Knights.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's about his son. I guess he's dead in the show.
Really? About Damian Wayne?
Maybe.
Oh, I don't watch that. I'm looking, and we're looking. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the number one is Lord of the Rings. Like it's supposed to be the most expensive. Like every episode is like more than any season's ever been. I know we're probably missing.
Interesting. And you never know stuff too that will pop up later that like is not even necessarily finalized. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where
Talk
things
about
lie
it
at the
in
end of the
6
year.
months.
I was gonna say, yeah, we'll definitely have you back on the wraparound show unless you stab me in the back.
Oh, Cobra Kai. I would never. Cobra Kai. Forget about that. That comes back.
That might be in mine, yeah.
And This Is Us. My girlfriend's watching This Is Us right now. I'm not watching all of it, but like as a
Wednesday,
show.
Wednesday.
That's the Wednesday Adams show.
Yeah. With oh, she's really good. She's in Scream and You and
Gina Rodriguez. No, not Gina. What's the name?
Jen
No.
Ortega.
Jenna
Jen
Ortega.
Ortega. There we go. Well, any plugs or parting words there, Brandon?
No, catch me on if you like my rankings of things, catch me on the Full Grown Podcast, Full Grown Pod on Instagram. It's on Spotify. It's on everything I recorded. What's the last one? The one that came out today was, I think I mentioned this on Monday. The one that came out today or tomorrow actually is we ranked our top 5. We do like fantasy. We do fantasy drafts like fantasy football, fantasy baseball, but with random crap. So we'll do movies, TV shows, music. We ranked our top 5 foods that can be used as weapons. You know, a day old baguette is a great as like a blunt object. So we've ranked things like that. We've done worst and best TV show dads, movie dads, things like that. So we talk about all random and put together our top 5 little lineups like a fantasy draft. So it's a fun little thing I do with my friend every Thursday. So Full Grown Pod on Instagram, Full Grown Podcast on everywhere.
Definitely check that out, everybody. Like, subscribe. Chris is wondering if we've seen Hacks. I've only seen most of the first season, so it is a
I've
good show.
not seen it, but I probably will watch it eventually.
No, it's a good one here. Gene Smart, very good in it. Definitely see why she's gotten some love for that show. Yes, so yes, definitely like, subscribe to everything you can find Brandon on. Like, subscribe here. You guys know what to do. Every YouTuber says it. Ring the bell. Tell grandma. Notifications. Like, subscribe. The Wonder Years not on his list.
Put on my shirt.
Well, you take the good, you take the bad, and you get the facts of life. Everybody, thank you. Good night.